Gentlemen across the world, welcome to Synergy PWR People's World Racing, and we're here for the Belgian Grand Prix. Anyone that might be tuning in, you may notice we are here, of course, on Mixer and not on our regular usage of Twitch. We have a technical issue. I believe Xbox Live currently going some server issues at the moment with Twitch, so resorting to our backup plan here on Mixer. So thank you very much to anyone tuned in here for this slightly delayed Division 2 race here as everyone starts on their formation lap. I look to welcome my co-host here for this Division 2 race, none other than a new Division 1 driver coming into Synergy PWR in AMS Bianchi. Good evening to you, sir.
Hello, how are you, mate?
Nice to have you on board. Yeah, not too bad. Hope you're well yourself.
I'm good.
Good to have you on board. Obviously, hopefully, fingers crossed you've got your box checked in the party chat.
Yep.
Okay, smashing.
Let's
so
just
we're
have
going to
a
get
look,
on. We're going to get on some with a quick run through of the standings, and it's a really close qualifying. Hoonigan starts on pole position with Jenny Goosh in P2, but in a very interesting second row in Beefy Rabbit and Hasler setting exactly the same qualifying time in Q3. Only Hasler doing it second, which means he starts behind Beefy Rabbit. So very close stuff. Matt Al starts in P5 with Mongdog in P6, Morgan in P7, Mike David down in P8. Keep Proof in P9 and Purple Haze in P10. Paradise Bear starts in P11 with Strategic Herpes new to Synergy PWR alongside Dean Colon. I'll get this right eventually. Dean Carlo Tinash follows in P13 with Lethality down the order in P14 after crashing in the Q1 practice. And ProMaster, also new as well, starts in P15 for Renault. So a fairly sort of grown out Division 2 happening here with 15 runners. So we're expecting a fairly close run, actually, especially considering Beefy Rabbit and Hasler setting exactly the same qualifying time. Surely that's, I mean, you're a driver yourself and have been for quite a while, presumably, Bianchi. I mean, yourself, yeah. Surely when you've got two runners setting exactly the same qualifying time, surely that's going to put a big mentality to try and push hard and be the better driver on this track. So surely it means that the second row are going to be racing fairly hard today.
As you said, they both set the exact same lap times, which is going to try motivate them just to get that little advantage, to get onto the podium. But it is Spa, anything can happen, as we have saw in real life and in the virtual world as well. I think it's going to be quite open, I think.
It's going to be very open. It's going to be very open indeed. Of course, the standings incredibly open as well in Division 2 at the moment as the drivers now coming back on their formation lap. It's incredibly close stuff at the moment in Division 2. Jenny Goosh currently leading the way and down the order as well in retrospect with Hoonigan. Both of these two in the top two separated very closely in the Q3 running. Hoonigan starts P1. He's on 144 in P2 in the standings with Jenny Goosh in P2 in the standings. So them two will be looking to grab some valuable points to stay in the lead of the championship, but we will see how this race goes because the drivers are now lining up on the grid.
It's going to be interesting.
Going to be interesting indeed. We're going to wait for these lights. It's 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4, and it's 5 lights. It's 5 lights, and they are go. The drivers, here they are. Hoonigan actually gets an absolute blistering start, but the Haas also managing to pack up quite well here with Beefy Rabbit looking to try and get a good start upon Hasler. And Hasler actually has an appalling start looking down the order here, and he ends up going wide around turn 1 with a few little bits and scrapes going around here with the Renault, and there's definitely a collision happening between Dean and Pro X Master at the back. Hasler really down the order at the moment, so he loses a bucket position 3 to be exact, with Beefy Rabbit managing to capitalise really well on a cracking start. He goes into P1 with Hoonigan in P2, Jenny Goosh in P3, but it's possibly looking to 4 people around here coming into turn 1. And collisions possibly going around the back around turn 1. It was interesting stuff, and Hoonigan manages to get around Beefy Rabbit. Fresh start for Synergy PWR runner here in the racing point, managing to snatch a good P2. But we have Jenny Goosh possibly going on the inside around the long sweeping right hander, and the Haas is looking like he's managing to get a good exit, and the racing point straight back to where he started. And Paradise Bear spins at the back as well as he loses traction. He's now down the order on P15 with wing damage as well.
Yep, very interesting start there. There was a lot of action, very hard to keep up as there's still action all up and down the field. Most of all the drivers are just about within a second of each other. So it's very close.
It was always really close, actually. Obviously, in the qualifying session, we can see the likes of Hasler and Beefy Rabbit managing to get exactly the same qualifying lap time in Q3, but Hasler having an appalling start, dropping 2 positions at the moment, and he's currently down the order. But one person who's capitalised really well, actually, is the what should be the Alfa Romeo, but it's actually the Ferrari of lethality. Looks like Matt Howell and Jenny Scooch may have had a bit of a collision. There's a 5-second penalty added to Hasler. So it looks like there's definitely been some kind of collisions there. We were sorry, the director was right at the back, reflecting upon other runners, but it seems like Matt Howell and Jenny Gooch may have had a collision, I presume.
Yep. What I saw was that the Toro Rosso, I think it was the Owl, and he hit the back of Jenny as going down the inside, and yeah, he hit on the rear and spinning into the bus stop, which is also not the best thing you want on lap 1, which will compromise these guys' racing.
Yeah, it's going to compromise massive amounts of races as well for the likes of Jenny Gooch as well, down 12 positions from where he started, and of course he's currently in the lead of the championship on 146. Meanwhile, Hoonigan currently flying 3.1 seconds in front of Matt Howell at the moment in P2 in the standings, 144. So it'll do him some wonders.
A Radion. I think he's just about saved it.
Yeah, she's definitely just managed to save the car here, reversing back off the track in order to get a good exit, but it means that Paradise Bear's been able to close the gap down. Paradise Bear actually overtakes Purple Haze, so Purple Haze now down the order at the moment. Also battles happening as well for Morgan 4S at the moment. He's now got to really capitalise on something here, because he's on 123, third place in the standings at the moment, and after a fairly poor run of form for him at the moment, couple of 6th places and a 4th place finish, which considering his pace is a little bit down the order for him. He's now only 4 points in front of P2 Ham in P4 at the moment, so he's going to want to try and capitalise here on a good finish here, and of course the likes of Jenny Gooch being down the order is really going to help the Williams' case here.
Yeah, Jenny is going to have to work hard to get any sort of a good points finish, but with being the championship leader, you do expect him to get himself back up the order.
Heatproof Ham coming into the pits on his fresh set of mediums, so looking like he's going to be coming in for a set of tyres and a brand new wing. So both McLarens really struggling around here at the moment in this race here at the Belgium Grand Prix. A couple of things to mention as well from the people who have pitted. Heatproof Ham, fresh set of hards for him. Beefy Rabbit, set of mediums for him, and a set of softs for Mike David. So he's looking to go long on a second, go short, on a second stint, as there's a little bit of tapping between the Racing Point and the Alfa Romeo. The Alfa Romeo obviously on a softer set of tyres, so he's going to be the fastest car. But the rest of the field, that's as I've mentioned, Paradise Bear, Purple Haze and Jenny Gooch, all on a set of hards, as Herpes is out of the race. So that's both Renaults out, I believe, in a couple of laps. Unfortunate stuff. So there's both Renault's really struggling around here, but looks like the Alfa Romeo isn't struggling though, because he's managed to get a good run on Beefy Rabbit in the Racing Point, and you can see where Strategic Herpes crashed, as Paradise Bear is also out as well. There goes another Renault powered car. So Renault really, Renault's struggling around here at the moment. Purple Haze will capitalise on a P12 position there. So Heatproof Ham's managing to outrace his teammate this so far. Back up the run though, we've got Hasler down in P4 at the moment on the set of mediums, and about a second separating him from P2 at the moment, with Morgan 4S splitting in the middle.
Looks like there is going to be a little bit of a trade on him, I feel like. As Morgan's right down the middle.
And of course Mondog and Lethality also on the same set of tyres as well, so they may close down the gap as well, and may keep an eye out on Dean as well, because of course he had that collision earlier with never mind, he comes into the pits now, so perhaps he's changing his front wing from that incident earlier in the race, as Beefy Rabbit's looking to come back on Mike David on the fresh set of mediums himself. So the soft's not really working to the best of his ability is Mike David, as he comes around the outside to hold the inside of bus stop, but Beefy Rabbit can't get that traction down, and Mike David pulls the gap away in the Alfa. He stays P9.
Yeah, as they come down the straight, not the second, third hole, do not change, and you see Dean drop down the order.
Morgan 4S makes a mistake coming out that corner there, and Hasler is going to have a good run around the outside, as there's definitely a little bit of touching between the two Mercedes-powered cars,
Side by
of course,
side.
Mercedes and Williams, but Morgan defends really well against Hasler, and Hasler stays P4.
Very true, but he is lagging a little bit, Morgan.
Yeah, Beefy Rabbit going back to the position though for that. Beefy Rabbit going around the outside, then he manages to hold on to the position against Mike David. Mike David will be kicking himself here. He's on a fresher set of tyres. He should be able to pull a gap on this Racing Point, but fair play to the Racing Point. The number 14 Racing Point absolutely holding his own at the moment in this race, and fair play to him, I must say.
It's interesting to see here, Beefy Rabbit has only got 17% ERS, while Mike Davis has 60%, but he hasn't got much fuel, as he's got that yellow icon, as you normally see as his yellow flag. Don't know what that's for.
Indeed, it's interesting. So obviously a low fuel run then for Mike David, you presume. Obviously the yellow fuel light's assuming, meaning that he's going to stick with fairly low fuel. As Jenny Gooch gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so he's looking to try and close down the gap, and he's just pushing a little bit too far at the moment. And at this moment in time, Beefy Rabbit is pulling a gap at the moment on the soft tyre run of Mike David, and that's probably due to the fact he is saving his tyres and saving fuel, as Hasler is in DRS range of the Williams of Morgan Forrest, and before he gets DRS, it's already side by side with the Williams. And as we go off board, we can see there the Mercedes just pulling away against the Williams, and surely Morgan is just going to have to give up the position, and the number 45 Mercedes, deemed with purple haze as of this from this race onwards, has managed to overtake that position. And if he holds him any longer, Mondog will be in the run for P4 here, and it'll be Williams fighting on track.
Yes, very interesting. This is a proper ding-dong battle between Morgan and Hasler, and of course David and Beefy Rabbit, as David gets past Beefy Rabbit on the Kemmel Straight. Up to D7 he goes once again.
Yeah,
indeed. You can see if he can pull the gap.
We'll have to see. Remember, low fuel, so he's got a lighter car. He's going to have to save fuel at some point, but he has got plenty of ERS to look into doing it, and he has the tyres to do it as well. So we'll keep a firm eye on that battle as it develops. We're going back to the battle of P3 at the moment, and Morgan going a little bit wide again on those medium tyres. We're starting to struggle maybe with a bit of dirty air off the back of that Mercedes, and Mondog is looking to close down the gap, because now he's within a second of Morgan. DRS will be available for the other Williams as well. So we could end up having a bit of a sandwich between the three Mercedes-powered cars here.
Interesting, up that back straight. Hasler was using hot lap on the DRS, trying to pull away from Morgan and Mondog, but that has not worked, and they've both got DRS.
It's possibly worst case scenario as well for Morgan Forrest at the moment, because Hasler gets fastest lap, and then after that Mondog gets fastest lap. So currently the person in front and the person behind him are faster than him in the middle, so he's really going to have to start putting some pressure into his tyres, because now he's pulling a gap. Now is Hasler, and now Mondog in the other Mr. Williams Mercedes is looking to possibly overtake Morgan here, and Morgan really doesn't want to drop any points here, because only 10 points for him in P5 at the moment would give him 133, whilst Hippoopham only getting the 1 point by finishing in 10th at the moment. It's not going to really help his case, where he could finish a lot higher, could Morgan, so he needs to take as many points as he can here, so he's going to have to put the pressure on and get his elbows out.
Yes, and if they only catch the Mercedes of Hasler and even more.
Beefy Rabbit again on Mike Davidson. Great battling happening here between the racing, of course, India then, the Racing Point and the Alfa Romeo at the moment, and these two constantly overtaking each other on the Kemmel Straight. It's great racing from these two runners here.
Yeah, they've got it if they want to catch up the Toro Rosso, which Hasler is catching a little bit over the last
still a little bit of battling happening. I apologise for it. Still a bit of battling happening at the moment. Mike David and Beef Rabbit at the moment. Mike David trying to find the gap, but just isn't there at the moment. And Beef Rabbit, to be fair to him, is holding his own. And actually great respect between these two drivers. You've got Mike David as essentially Synergy veteran here against Beefy Rabbit, brand new to Synergy PWR, as Hoonigan sets fastest lap on his set of medium tyres at the moment. So we've got a great respect happening between the two, as Hasler goes even faster at the moment, so he's looking now like he's going to close down the gap, as Mondog is looking like he's starting to back off a little bit off the wheel, and perhaps a bit of team order play happening between the two of them. Mike David really needs to get past Beefy Rabbit here,
He really
because these
does.
softs are going to come
Into
to an
bus
end
stop.
soon. Into bus stop around the outside maybe, and going to
Leaves the
squeeze on the
space.
inside and leaves the space. There's definitely a bit of tap in there, and Beefy Rabbit's going to be able to hold on
Gets
to
his gears
position.
on you.
No problem, and I think that collision possibly will be his excuse to hold on to the position there. As a jostle for gappers, there's definitely a collision, and that is, in my opinion, Mike David outbraking himself.
Yeah, it looks like from my point of view, he has got front-end damage to off here, off the road, and Raddy on here.
Fair play, it doesn't look like that's significant damage, because Mike David managed to get up there no problem at all, and with the DRS wide open again on the Kemmel Straight, the drivers swap positions again for P7, and that, I mean, it's an amazing battle for P7 here. But Mike David, we're now going to get to the bit of the track where downforce is key, and Mike David's got a really bad front wing now. So of course, Beefy Rabbit's going to stick on the rear end of Mike David here. As this long sweeping right-hander, you'll start to see the understeer become a real issue for Mike David, and he's managing to pull away as makes a bit of a mistake. Does Beefy Rabbit?
He's starting to pull away, but coming through pull here, he is going to struggle. Let's see. You can look at him. Oh,
the understeer. The understeer on the Alpha.
Hasler is closed in within a second of P2 of Matt.
But as has Morgan on Hasler though as well, and Mongdog is just outside the reach of the second as well, so it's going to get very interesting at the moment. Mongdog sets fastest lap of the race, 1:48.0. So though Hoonigan is starting to pull the gap on Matt Owl at the moment, Matt Owl is essentially running a trolley train with a P2 down all the way to P5. So it's looking incredibly interesting to see who's going to be on the podium as Beefy Rabbit and Mike David still swapping positions before we even get anywhere near bus stop. So surely Mike David going to go around the outside potentially of the bus stop, but no, he doesn't. He decides not to as Beefy Rabbit goes a little bit deep, and Mike David into the pits to swap off those softs and swap off that wing. Great battling happening for P7 there.
Hasler is up into P2 after passing Matt into the Dunley Kemmel Straight. Fairly straightforward with the overtake and the DRS available to him. So he will now try and chase down Hooligan for P1.
Incredibly interesting and great stuff from Hasler as well. He's currently in a bit of a spot of bother at the moment at home. He's being one of our young drivers here at Synergy PWR, naturally has a bedtime routine for school. And he's currently going past his bedtime by the looks of things as it stands at the moment to continue racing here, and it's surely going to be worth it because at the moment he could be on for a win here at Synergy PWR People's World Racing. This is the next round here at the Belgian Grand Prix, and it is an interesting race for sure. It's developing into a bit of a trolley train from P2 downwards at the moment, and 4.5 seconds the gap at the moment. Hasler Hoonigan, and Hoonigan, though you've got to remember Hasler has been battling, so his tyres should be a bit more worn than Hoonigan's. So Hasler's got to really consider potentially an undercut here. Question is, when does he come in?
Very interesting. And also look at the ERS. Matt not got very much ERS. He's under 10% compared to Hasler's 30%. And also, it's going to be interesting with this trolley train, as you say.
It is
but
common.
The problem is he can't pull away because he doesn't have the DRS and Hooligan.
It is common knowledge, though. It is common knowledge that these F1 engines start to lose power at around about 20% ERS. But with the DRS available, though, Matt is going to be able to overtake on the Kemmel Straight on Hasler. But Hasler's going to be able to make a valiant defence effort here. Only problem is he's going to be packed full of downforce issues with the horrible dirty air coming off the back of the Toro Rosso, which is going to invite Morgan into this battle, and include Mongdog into this battle as well, who's trying to get around his teammate Morgan. Clearly no team effort and team orders around here. It is racing on track for position as Lethality gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, 13 seconds back in P6. But I've got to keep an eye out though, because I'm just going to change the interval to leader here at the moment, and PWR Jenny Gush currently 42 seconds back from the leader at the moment, so he needs to gain around about 10 seconds or so to be able to be within a shout of being able to close down that gap and get within the sort of podium positions. So he's still in it for possibly 15 points upwards as Jenny Gooch, but he's really got to close down that gap of about 10 seconds, and the problem is Ziku Van is closing down that gap himself at the moment.
Interesting, with this battling of second to fifth, it's just only going to help Jenny Gooch, and of course with Vality and P6, because if they're all scrapping away, they're both going to catch up. So they're going to have to watch the guys behind them, because if they start scrapping, they're going to be right up there very soon.
Interesting stuff at the moment happening as well down the back of the field as Beefy Rabbit decides to try and back off Mike David's undercut attempt, obviously with the front wing change. He wants to come into the pits, but Beefy Rabbit, even with the 1 lap extra on his original tyres at the moment, has lost out that position on Mike David, and the gap now less than a second between them two for a prospective P7 finish. But Mongdog is looking like he's going to be able to get a run on his teammates side by side at the end of the Kemmel Straight, and Mongdog is ahead of Morgan for the first time in this race, as Hasler also managed to get in front of Matt Owl as we go on board with Mongdog as well. So a couple of changes happening on the Kemmel Straight thanks to our old friend the DRS.
Yeah, the very good old friend DRS. Yeah, but as Matt is very way up the back of Hasler still, because he cannot pull away.
But he has saved his ERS though. He has decided to go to the ERS save now. He's got, by the looks of things, probably around about 30-ish% at the moment at his disposal. But I presume he's probably going to have to save some more of that if he wants to take a good effort at trying to take Hasler out of this P2 position. Remember, Hasler gone through and gone down the order and had to battle his way back up to P2. So his medium tyres are probably going to be more worn than Matt Owl's at the moment. So he's going to have the better tyres as Matt at the moment, as Beefy Rabbit and Mike David still scrapping for position, and they overtake again on Kemmel Straight. So these two are going to be at it for P7 pretty much all race, as Hasler is trying to make a defensive effort on Matt Owl at the moment, as he just outbrakes himself, does the Toro Rosso, puts himself in a position where he's going to get back from that from Mongdog in the Williams, with the Toro Rosso Honda making a very good exit at the end of bus stop and a great recovery to try and hold on to P3 at the moment. What was an effort for P2 is now going to have to try and hold on for the final spot on the podium.
But very interestingly, Morgan is slightly dropping away. But look at the ERS difference. He's got around about 10% more than Mongdog. And with Matt, only have 5%, and Hasler has about 25%. He has a serious advantage when we get 50% through the 50% race.
Well, you've got to remember as well, of course, is that Matt Owl himself is going to be in a position where he's going to be able to make a valiant effort at defending P3 on the Kemmel Straight, because of course he's still within DRS range of Hasler, which is a very good defensive mechanism for him on Mongdog, who has got raw amounts of ERS available, but with the DRS level, he just doesn't have enough room in that Mercedes-powered Williams to try and get himself and propel himself into those podium positions at the moment. But we are still in a trolley tip train at the moment for P2, and it's quite literally anyone's game here. 10-lap old mediums at the moment. We expect these mediums probably to die off around about now as well. So we're expecting people to be launching themselves onto the hards fairly soon. But Beefy Rabbit and Mike David have come in early, 2 or 3 laps extra. So the question is, will them battling now, or will they hinder their position to look into, because they were battling for something like P6, P7 here. But if they're coming early, and they're going to be faster than the people on the mediums at the top, they could be launching themselves in the battle as well for possibly P2, P3, P4, and if there's a trolley train happening, they could put themselves into the position for a podium. So it's literally a 5 or 6 car scrap for the podium here, as the first person to make that move is Hasler, as does Mongdog. Straight into the pits they go. So Matt Owl and Morgan will be the people that put themselves in the position to take an extra lap on these mediums, and Hasler comes into the pits, set of hards for him, and Mongdog will be coming into the pits, and it's a set of hards for him. So the battle ensues to out of the pits. We'll have to see how that one comes, and the next lap
is going to be the lap that decides what order these guys are going to be in for the second part of this race. Interestingly enough, that Morgan has enough DRS to push this lap, unlike Matt, which only has about around 20%. There's around about a 40% difference gap, which is massive at this stage of the race. Also interesting, Matt went into AI, so I don't know what's going on there.
So AI obviously means he's going to be a slower car as well, so he's not going to put himself in a prime position. Just on board with Jenny Gooch at the moment. He will be livid at the moment with Matt, because he's now down in P7 having to pit early, and that stretching the medium stint with the other drivers has put him in a position where he's now about 17 seconds back off Hasler. So he is in nowhere near contention at the moment for any kind of podium position for unless there is a massive crash or even a safety car. So Jenny Gooch is really just banking on a safety car here at this rate, as Mongdog is now currently the leader on the fresh set of hards, but he's currently now having to battle with a P4 runner on the medium tyres in Lethality, who's 16 seconds back from the rest of the field. So he doesn't want to lose too much time on the back of that, what should be an Alfa Romeo, but is a Ferrari. And we have Morgan closing down the gap on Matt Howell himself as well. So surely these two are going to be coming into the pits now for a fresh set of hards, unless they're stretching out the stint for a fresh set of softs, as Matt Howell stays out and does Morgan. So they are stretching their medium stint out here. So it's interesting swap of tactics here. I really do think these guys may be on for a set of softs here.
I think they might be. You don't rule it out. But I think Morgan did look at it as he went into the pits, but he saw that Matt wasn't going in, so I think Morgan's going to try to stay behind Matt and try and just copy what he does. And effectively, I think Matt's going to try and copy what Hooligan does, which is about 6.5 seconds up the road. So this all could play in the hands of Hasler and Mongdog. But it's interesting because they need to get past the Flaherty, who is about 17, 18 seconds back on these top two. So the Flaherty here might actually have a very important say on how this race is run.
And you've got an interesting play as well from Mongdog, who's taking the opportunity to not battle with Lethality, knows he's going to be the faster car compared to the other medium runners. He's saved all his ERS and now he's approaching 100% energy. So Mongdog is in a really good position here to hold on with an extreme amount of ERS available at his disposal. Meanwhile, Hasler, on the other hand, is hovering around about 50%, so he's just trying to keep up with Mongdog at the moment. So clearly, this second stint is working very well for the Williams runner of Mongdog, but we've got to keep a firm eye, though, on this battle, though, for P2, because if these two keep battling, they're going to really harm their chances of being able to hold the position. And remember, we've got P11 and P12 down the order as well, on a set of hards. They're looking as well looking like they're going to be able to make some positions up on the likes of Matt Howell and Morgan, who are going into the battle, as Hoonigan comes into the pits and Morgan is on the inside, and they are still going out and all out for a battle here on a fresh set of mediums. Matt Howell takes the lead of the race, and Morgan, and they are extending their medium stint. It's surely going to be a set of softs, and Hoonigan's in the pits, and he is on a set of softs.
Interestingly enough is, Lafayette is going to pit, but surely these pairs, P1 and P2 of Morgan and Matt, are going to pit next lap, which means they are going to have a lap younger tyres than Hooligan and Lafayette, which is going to be interesting. But look, Lafayette's changing his front wing.
Yes, Lethality has got front wing damage as well as a fresh set of softs for him, so he's going to be down the order, possibly hovering around about P7, P8 for him. But we're going to keep a firm eye on the battle with Hoonigan at the moment, though, because Hoonigan's now 9 seconds back on the two people that still yet to pit. Morgan's down on 8 seconds down on the fresh set of hards, so he's probably not going to be battling with Hoonigan. I think, if anything, this is Hoonigan's to lose at the moment, which is certainly going to help his standings in the championship, considering Jenny Gooch had a collision with Matt Howell. Matt Howell at the moment, though, is behind Morgan 4S after swaps. He's there on the medium tyres. These two are stretching their medium stint out further. Yes, it means they're going to have a better set of softs, but if these both keep battling out, they're going to burn through their softs faster than Hoonigan is, who's just in fresh air, so he's found the gap, coming at the perfect time, staying away from the battles, and Beefy Rabbit is now on 6 seconds worth of penalties, as he's now half a second back on Purple Haze. So keep an eye out on that battle with Beefy Rabbit and Mike David. I can't see Matt Howell going for Hooligan, so I think he's looking for pits. As he gets a 3-second time penalty for stretching himself out there. So he's going to be in a position. I cannot see these going for battle. I think they're both going to come into the pits here. No! Matt stays out further. Morgan goes into the pits, and he's on a set of softs now. But Matt Howell is staying out. He's really stretching out this stint, and surely now he is a very brave man. But 14-lap-old mediums now at a track like this, he's not going to be able to win the race anymore now, really, if you think about it. Surely, because he's going to be losing more time than he is gaining.
Morgan's on the hards.
Mongdog has got Morgan on the hard, surprisingly enough, so maybe a misjudgment here.
That's a mistake.
So that is a mistake. Softs do go to the end here, but he is up to third, and he has managed to do a massive overcut on Hasler. at the very least, so that both Williams now up to prospective double podium for them. So Williams looking very healthy in the constructors, as Hasler makes a bit of a mistake and goes 3-second time penalty after outstretching the boundaries of the track, but does manage to make the overtake on Mongdog, but it is at the cost of a time penalty.
Very interesting here as well. It looks like Morgan has, interestingly enough, 3-lap old, 3-lap younger tyres than Hasler, and
But they are on.
So
But they are on a set of hards. The 3 seconds isn't really, the 3 laps, sorry, isn't really going to make that much of a difference, considering we've only got 7 laps left of this Belgian Grand Prix. Beefy Rabbit has just managed to get past Purple Haze, who's going to the pits for a fresh set of softs for herself at the moment. But Beefy Rabbit has stretched his stint out at the moment on the set of hard tyres, not softs as it indicates on the screen at the moment. And he's 7 seconds in front of Mike David at the moment. So he's really pushing at the moment on those hard tyres. But we've got to keep an eye out on them too at the moment, because Dean has come out in P9 at the moment. Bearing in mind, he came in for a set of hards himself. So, as I said, these guys are all going to be battling here, and there's probably a gap instead of about 10 seconds. So he could sneak himself up, possibly up to P7 again, is Beef. So we'll keep a firm eye on that one at the moment, as Hoonigan goes fastest lap, no surprise, on those soft tyres. As Matt comes into the pits, he's now changing his Toro Rossos to a set of soft boots at the moment. But Mongdog, Hasler, Morgan are going to massively overcut Matt, and Matt is down to P5.
Interesting enough as well, Raffaele has basically only stopped himself in the foot here, because he has to get past Jenny Goose, who is on the more faster tyre, but they then have to catch up to the battle of Matt, Morgan, Hasler and Mongdog here. So I think the Raffaele might get just around about P6, P7 here.
P6 is probably most likely for this Alfa Romeo driver driving in the Ferrari due to a glitch, but he's in the Alfa Romeo. He's going to be earning probably at the most here up to 6th place as Beefy Rabbit comes back into the pit, so he's got front wing damage, I believe, because he's changing off his tyres, and he won't be going the fastest lap because you need to be in the top 10 in order to get that extra point. But Matt Owl will be kicking himself somewhat. He is down in P5, but he is on the fresh set of soft tyres, but he has barely got any ERS to use those soft boots with at the moment. But at this moment in time, we've got a Mercedes sandwich with the 2 Williams of making the bread and the ham being Hasler, and that Mercedes is looking very strong at the moment to try and get around P2 at the moment on those hard tyres. And it's really intense battling here, because Hasler came into Synergy very late and has been an absolute dominant force in every single race bar one. He's been on the podium. He probably will be on the podium again tonight, but unless the Williams end up getting a full podium here today, Hoonigan is pulling away on those fresh set of softs. 12 seconds a gap now, dominating force from the Ferrari.
Yes, it looks like Hoonigan, if he stays out of trouble and he does not crash, he has got this race in the back. Interestingly enough, Matt has closed up for these guys, so he may get P2 here. As he does,
it's a bit of a dive, but he did get a 5-second time penalty for cutting the corner at bus stop. So though he's trying to get in there and everywhere, he is going to lose buckets of time anyway on penalties. I think he already has 3 seconds on top, so he's going to be up to 6, 7, 8, and Hasler crashes out. No, sorry, it's Mongdog crashes out at the top of Eau Rouge. It's an Eau Rouge casualty. Unfortunate for the Williams, but I can't skip to the camera, unfortunately, so we will see it as Jenny Goose goes past, but we'll keep an eye on the battle at the moment for P2. So Mongdog will be kicking himself there, so that was a bit of loss of traction, I think, going up the corner, and we're on at the moment with Jenny Goose, and you will see now at the top there where the Williams is, and that is where the Williams crashes out, and that is really unfortunate stuff for Mongdog, because he was on for a really, really good finish, and the Williams are only going to have one driver finishing at the very least.
Very interesting here. It just shows that it can happen for anybody. Hoonigan here could make a mistake and be like Mongdog out in the barrier.
I'm sure that will shake, actually. That will shake Hoonigan, actually, because the Mongdog was on fire at that time, and unfortunately puts him in a position with sector 2 yellow flags waved, and that is, I believe, for a spinning car. I don't know who, but we'll continue on this run at the moment as Morgan crashes out of the race, and there goes the Williamses.
Oh! What happened there? I didn't see. Was there a...
It got masses of understeer behind the Toro Rosso of of Matt, and he just launched himself straight into the wall, and within one lap, Williams went from a possible double podium to nothing at all.
It shows you it just clicks like that, which now gives Jenny Goose a good opportunity here. The P5 is going to be as Valley goes up the inside with the back straight, gets past him with ease and got the P4, and then we tried impossible.
Morgan and Mongol will be kicking in themselves for this, I think. I think Matt Owl he's already got 5, possibly 6, 7, or maybe even 8 seconds worth of penalties to add on, I believe. Hopefully you can take a look at that one and just fully confirm that. But if there's Purple Haze is also out as well, and suddenly out of nowhere, Matt Owl has just braked on the straight. For some reason, I don't know why, and the reason why is because we are under a virtual safety car. So if we're under a virtual safety car, that's going to definitely allow the soft runners to... that will make the soft runners very happy, because it means they're stretching out their stints even further.
Yes, very interesting here. I'm just checking the penalties. Hooligan is warning 3. Hasler has 2 penalties. Matt has 1 penalty and 1 5-second time penalty. The Valley has 1 penalty.
So we're talking Matt Owl having about 8 seconds worth of penalties, and I've got no doubt that Jenny Goose will be sending a clip in about Matt Owl's conduct, possibly at bus stop when there was a collision. So let's assume that he gets, I don't know, a 5-second penalty maybe. You know, that's still going to put him in a position with, we'll assume about 16, 17 seconds worth of penalties. So if worse comes to worse, Lethality won't be on the podium, but be very close, as Lethality gets caught out. Lethality gets caught out, doesn't it? I think he got caught out at the green flags by the virtual safety car, and Jenny Gooch on those 16-lap hold hards has now got about 3 or 4 laps to hold on, as Matt goes up on the inside of bus stop and Hasler straight down to P3. But with those penalties that Matt's got, surely it's going to be within Hasler's range just to try and hold on.
She's going to have to hold on really, but with those softs versus hard, you never know. It's interesting as well that Jenny Goose is up to P4 because with Lethality spinning.
Lethality made a mistake but put himself to P4 as Matt Owl is out of the race. So Matt Owl out of the race. And so Jenny Goose is pitting, so he's going the fastest lap, knowing that he's going to at least finish P5. But in Jenny Goose doing that, he's now cost himself a podium.
Oh, awful timing here. But this offers Dean a good opportunity to get up into the top 5. Depends where he comes on. He's going to
Matt Owl, I believe, maybe another Eau Rouge casualty. And I must admit, we were going up about 2 laps ago, and there he is, exactly the same place where Mongol crashed. I must admit, going up about 2 laps ago, his setup looked very, very unstable going up Eau Rouge, and he looked a little bit shaky. So obviously at that time he just pushed it a little bit too far. And I personally think that Jenny Goose, yes, might be going for that extra point for fastest lap, fine, but I think he's cost himself a podium here doing this.
Yeah, I think he has, to be honest. I think
it's really bad timing. I think it must be really bad timing. Sorry to interrupt you. It must be really bad timing actually for Jenny Goose, because as he was coming into the pits, Matt crashed. So it was really bad timing. So it's really been a game of just awful luck for the Rich Energy Haas Aussie runner in Jenny Goose. So he'll be probably finishing with fastest lap in P4. But at this moment in time, it's Hoonigan rolling the way on a fresh set of softs, and Hasler 9.1 seconds the gap separating him from Hoonigan, and then Lethality 31 seconds back from P2.
Oh. Yeah, I think that is going to be your top 3 unless something happens, but you never know.
Well, you never know. Like I said, I was going to say, you never know. You've got to look at it from the fact that we saw Williams on for a double podium, and 1 lap later they're gone. So anything could happen here at Synergy PWR and any Formula 1 race for that matter. On board with Dean at the moment, so he tries to close down the gap on Jenny Goose. Obviously, PWR Jenny Goose on a fresh set of softs as yellow flags waved in sector 2. But Mike David spinning. I think he might have just caught that. It's a very infamous curve there through P1, isn't it? That inside, you catch that, you're spinning. So, yeah, he's down in P8 at the moment in the Alfa Romeo. Not been the best race for him, but at least he's going to be taking some points, about 4 of them for that matter. But he is 10 seconds back from Beefy Rabbit. At one point, these two were battling tooth and nail, and now everything's separating the two of them.
For the wooden spoon. Now, interesting, out of nowhere, Dean is 5th, and he's within a second of Jenny. So let's see. Dean has got the older tires by a lap, and it looks like Bennett is starting to push as Beefy Rabbit is the fastest lap with a 1:46.878.
Four lap old softs for Beefy Rabbit. Of course, we've got a couple of people on fresh set of softs themselves. Jenny Gush now on a fastest lap himself. No doubt he'll be pushing on the ERS as well. And a big thank you to Neverland Pirate who follows us on the Mixer stream. Of course, usually should be using Twitch, but due to a technical fault, we are using Mixer here tonight. And Dean at the moment is less than a second back from, and a little bit more than a second actually, on Jenny Gooch at the moment. No doubt Jenny Gooch now will be pushing on those fresh set of softs to try and get the fastest lap as some kind of consolidation, because he felt really unlucky to enter the pits to try and go for the fastest lap at the exact same time of him possibly getting the podium.
Exactly, as he flips the curve there and goes a little bit wide, nothing too major, as Mike David gets a 3-second penalty. Maybe just pushing a little bit too much, and it's interesting here as it's now lap 21 of 22.
Oh, good save from Jenny Gooch, going sideways, clicking the curb again. So imagine to use the good strength of the fresh soft tyres at the moment to try and hold on for dear life. But he is going for fastest lap at the moment. The extra point currently going to Beefy Rabbit, so he'll be getting on top of his 6 points for 7th, a 7th point for the fastest lap. However, will the Rich Energy Haas be able to beat that one? I say Rich Energy Haas, of course, in real life Formula 1, it's no longer Rich Energy Haas, but he is going to be coming across the line at the end of this bus stop. And across the line he comes, and he does get the fastest lap, 45.8 for the Rich Energy Haas F1 team driver. PWR Jenny Gooch on for 13 points here today. He'll be kicking himself because he was certainly there on for 15, because Lethality out of nowhere has put himself on the podium, and I think even he doesn't really know how he's managed to get there.
Yeah, I think if I was Lethality, I wouldn't have Jenny Gooch gets a 3-second time penalty. And this is interesting because Dean, I don't know if Dean has any penalties.
Yeah, I was just about to say, because I believe this is Jenny's second penalty now. He's on to 6 penalties, and Dean doesn't have a penalty. So at this moment in time, he didn't need that extra penalty. He could have tried to extend the gap, Jenny Gooch. He only needed an extra second, but now Dean is in 4th place respectively with 1 lap to go. He only needed to stretch out a second, did Jenny Gooch. Now he needs to stretch out at least another 4, and it's not looking likely with 1 lap to go when they're both on the same, basically the same length older tyre at the moment on those softs. And yeah, it's certainly an intriguing situation happening for P4 at the moment, because Jenny was certainly on for P5 at the very least, then P3 happened, then he came into the pits, then he went for P4 fastest lap, and now he's only on for P5 again with fastest lap. So it don't matter what he does, everything's probably gone wrong for him today without it being basically DNFing.
Yeah, exactly, and it's interesting here, he is pushing to the absolute brink as the yellow flashing light has came on for his field. He's obviously just pushing very hard.
Yeah, his ERS is also limited as well. Last time we checked with Jenny Gooch, he was on about 60 or 70% ERS. Now he's barely got 20 now, probably even less than that for that matter now as the Haas winner. He needs to pull a gap of about 6 seconds on Dean with 1 lap to go. He's currently on 2.3 seconds. He needs to find 4 seconds, and he's not going to find it. Surely not, as Lethality gets a 3-second time penalty. Not going to really make a difference at the moment because he's 15 seconds in front of PWR Jenny Gooch. But again, I come back to Lethality at the moment. Jason, as everyone else calls him by his real name, he has got no idea how he's managed to get here today. No way. As Dean gets a 3-second time penalty. So now the gap for Jenny Gooch now is now only 1 second. So he knows he can push. He only needs to find a second. Does Jenny Gooch at the moment? It has to be really intense stuff. 3 seconds is what he needs to look at by the time that he gets to the end of sector 3, and I've just seen him there fiddle around with his settings there, so I don't know whether he's fiddling around with his engine or if it's going to be with his whatever ERS he has left, but he needs to find 1 second as Hoonigan wins the Belgian Grand Prix, so congratulations to him and Ferrari, and a very, very big well done to Hasler as well, having to stay up a little bit later than he should have done, and the Mercedes gets the 2nd place and continues his podium streak, so he'll be very happy with that one. And then 32 seconds back is the Alfa Romeo runner of Lethality, driving in the Ferrari due to a glitch system. Interesting enough, Ham, out of nowhere, he's pushing. I've been watching him this last lap and he's diving hot after overtake. He's not got any penalties, I've checked. So is he maybe going to get
5th. I don't think he is, but it's a good effort.
He
Maybe
might
one or two
benefit
more
from it
laps
though.
in the road.
Lethality though out of nowhere gets third position, so congratulations to him and Alfa Romeo, 15 points. For Alfa Romeo is certainly going to be incredibly healthy, and Mike David obviously will add up some more points for Alfa Romeo as well. We'll get to him shortly, but PWR Jenny Goose crosses the line in P4, but 2.7 seconds back means Dean will take
Dean's done
P4.
it.
Will Heatproof Ham though be
10.
able to capitalise on 6 seconds worth of penalties? No, he can't. 1.7 seconds difference between him and Jenny Goose. Jenny Goose missed out on P4 by 0.181 seconds. Beefy crosses the line to finish in P7 on his debut for Synergy PWR. He was looking for P7 and he got P7. Well done to the Racing Point runner. And then following up, the Alfa Romeo, the only runner, I believe anyway, to have a double. It is a double Alfa Romeo finish. It's the only constructor, I believe, to get a double finish here today. So double set of points for Alfa Romeo as well. So it's good work for them. But before we take a look at the final results, well, of course, we will go to the podium, and it is a Ferrari of Hoonigan again. It's another win for the South African driver. Congratulations to Hoonigan and Team Ferrari, and congratulations to Hasler as well. It's a great finish for Hasler as well on his return coming back from France. He is now on his 5th podium of 6 here at Synergy PWR, so great stuff for him. But a great form for him, and a great result for Lethality out of nowhere as well. 3rd place for him. He jumps up the standings, I believe, as well. We'll be battling 1 point between him and Mike David. That certainly won't be the case anymore. We'll take a look at these final standings, and it is Hoonigan on top, step of the podium with Hasler and Lethality in P3. Dean will be very happy with his showing here at Synergy PWR on his first showing from P13 straight to P4. So him Lethality, sure, they're going to be looking at driver of the day indeed. Jenny Goose will be very disappointed with P5. Dean and him coming up with a little bit of a tough happening earlier on in the race, so surely that will be something to consider from the stewards later on. Heatproof Ham will be very happy with P6 finishing in P9, but Beefy will not be happy. P3 down to P7 on his debut, but he managed to finish alongside Mike David as well, who finished in P8. Matt Owl and Mongdog, were the two people who had issues at the Eau Rouge corner with Purple Haze, Paradise Bear, Herpes and Pro X Master also all DNFing. Oh, we got to the end. That is it for this Synergy. We're just about. I know that is it for this Synergy PWR Division 2 race at the Belgium Grand Prix. Thank you very much to everyone tuning in. And thank you as well to yourself, Bianchi, for coming along in the commentators box for this race.
Always here. Enjoyed hoping to some work. She's commenting on the belt scene. She's should ever of this intrigued me to back and I'll show this footage next time and we know Singapore.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens at Italy for the next race, followed by Singapore and then Russia. And Italy, I think, is going to be certainly as well, especially like who drive for Ferrari, would be even fun race for them. So looking forward to that one. Looking forward to the Division 1 race tomorrow. Always tell racing with the other Division 1 runners. So, but now, thank you very much to everyone tuning in to Synergy PWR Street. Myself and Bianca is goodbye for now.
Goodbye.